So now that the project has loaded up and it started up, nothing, we've changed nothing. Still, you can see the hello world and everything over there. The thing is that now we are going to do is we are going to input a button and also input an input text and try to copy something which is written on the input text onto the text view that is over there. As you can see, this hello world, let me zoom into that. You can see that it's hello world is written over there. You can go ahead and change the properties of that and enable that, means do something with that rather than just leave it alone over there. I'll do this. I'll click this button. As you can see, this is actually to set the layout width to wrap the content. Wrap content means whatever is the width of the parent, make it the width of this text view as well. In Android, a text view actually is just like a label in your visual programming. Means you normal when a user clicks that, he cannot change anything in that. Now let us put one button over there. As you can see over here, I'll just put this button and I'll also put one input text. You can see in text fields you've got plain text, the person name, passwords, email, phone, postal address, multi-line address, and so on. So each and everything, it's actually the same text field. It's actually the same input text. It's called an input text, but it has been set to tell Android that I am going to use this data for the means this is the data that the user should input only. If it's the email address, the validation is done automatically. You do not have to write the code for the validations as you do in the other programming languages. So that has been gotten rid of over here in the Android Studio or the Android programming. Now the next thing that I'll do is I'll put a plain text over here. Means whatever the user writes over there, it should be copied over there into the text view. So let's go ahead and do that. Now in order to understand a few things, I would like you to concentrate on the board. Now the next thing that I do is to go ahead and give these IDs, these text views and the buttons that I've used and the input text that I've used. I'll call this one as output TV or text view. Output text view. Okay, I'll call that first one. Okay, the second thing, it says that do you want to upgrade XML references and Java R field reference? I say yes, of course I want to do that. Means without that it can't be done. So the same thing, I'll double click this and the text, I'll not use the text, I'll say input
TV
text. No, input text.
So what does it mean?
This is ID. The same thing as you are initializing a button. We will find these components, these UI components or the widgets that you see. These are actually called widgets in Android. Through this name that you give, which is the ID. That's an easy way of doing things, and the same thing I'll do for the buttons.
Giving the name to this label.
Yeah, it's sort of giving a name to this label, but this name does not means do the same thing as your other things do, means your other languages do. This is just a reference name. Okay, it's just for XML. Again, I'm telling you, see this XML? If you go to the XML, it's over there. Edit text and the ID is button 1, as you can see, as I've changed that. The ID for the text view over here is the output TV, output text view. What about the input edit text? You can see that it's our input TV. Where is that? Input text. You see that? Android ID is equal to input text. What are the other things doing over there? What is the button in the other thing doing? It's a reference actually. How do you store this input text and how do you go ahead and do different things? So inshallah more about that later on when we do the work. Now we are almost done with the user interface. So let me save this one, Control S, or go to File and Save. Now I am going to go to the project, go to the Java folder over there, and then you see this com.classes dreamcatcher Umeed means this Umeed Android application, and I am going to go to the main activity.java file, not this one, this application test, no, this is the main activity.java file. Actually I'm going to go ahead and load this up. Now let me talk a little bit about the structure of the Java file. It is over there in the slides. You can refer to that project structure over there. So you can see lots and lots of stuff over there as well. But let me go ahead a little bit through that. Now you see that the package name is over there. Okay. You know packages in Java, it's the same packages are being used in Java. A few imports with the import keyword, but not java.something. No, that's not used over here. It's import Android. Actually, the Java has been changed a little bit for the Android. It's a special Java whenever you're using the Android application development. Then a few imports. You will learn about imports with a passage of time. You already know that. But this Android Studio handles it very excellently. So no need to worry about that. Then you've got the public class main activity extends action bar activity. You can see that this is main activity and this is a class. So class is it's object oriented programming. So you need classes over there in Java. The first rules of the Java, the file name should be the same as the class name. As you can see, class name and file name both are the same, and so on and so forth. Now you might remember from Java that you've got public static void main. What is the main of the Android application? It's the onCreate method. You see the first method over here, this onCreate method. This is the main method. This is the first thing whenever the Java this Android application loads up. This is the first thing that, or this activity actually loads up, this is going to be called. So we are going to do the coding over here mostly you need coding over here, or references to your coding means methods and functions. As you can see, do not change these things. These we will talk about these later. These are coming by default in Android Studio and also in Eclipse as well. So don't change these two lines. These will come by default. The coding will look the same in both of the cases, in Eclipse as well and in Android Studio. Whichever do you want to use, it's the same coding. You can't go ahead and go without these coding. Now, the next thing that I do is that I will try to find references. I'll try to locate my 3GUI components. Remember the 3GUI components that we've put into the activity_main.xml file, this file. As you can see, I'll minimize this one so that you can see the whole coding as well. Now, first thing that I do is that I'll say TextView. The first reference is the TextView. Do you know the TextView is just like the label, as you can see. So the import has been managed by itself, and I'll call this one as output. I'll just say out is equal to, it's not important that the name should always be the same. Okay. Now where is my resource located? It's located at r.java file. Remember that? But how do I find that? So there is a method for that as well. What is that method? That method is find view by ID. It's called find view by ID, and a semicolon at the end. And what would I write? I would write r resource file dot r.id. Means what am I referencing? I said find reference by ID. In the resource file there are IDs. that I have given to the different stuff on the GUI. So I'll say r.id.output TV. Remember output TV?
Yeah.
I gave that name to the text view, if you remember. If you don't wanna, if you're not sure about that, go ahead and double click this once again. You see this output TV, this is the ID of the first widget or the first component that I've used. Input text is the second and button is the third. Now whenever you do that, it gives you an error.
So instead of output TV, you can give
Any name over there, then you can change it over here as well. You should give it over there to the GUI, but I've given it output text view actually. Okay, it gives you an error. Why does it give you an error? Okay, let's do a quick fix. Alt enter is a quick fix. When you press Alt enter, it gives you a list of possible fixes. What do you want to do? So I'll say cast to Android widget.textView. Do you know typecasting? Now the same thing I will do for the button as well that I've got. Okay, I'll say button. The rest are almost the same. BUTTON is equal to
two times button, sir.
Object. Find view by ID r.id.button 1. Remember, we gave it the name button 1. Okay, let's do a quick fix. It's giving us an an error, which is actually importing the android.widget.button, as you can see. Alt enter. Okay, and then let's cast that to android.widget.button, as you can see over here. The same thing that I've done. The third thing that I will do, input text. No, it's not off. Okay, input text. Okay, what is the third thing that I've done? Okay, edit text actually, it's not input text. And what is the ID? Input text. Input text a name was okay. It's the type is edit text. The same for all. I'll say input. You can name it anything, yeah. Is equal to, okay, find view by ID again, r.id.input text. Remember this one?
Yes.
Again, it's the same thing. If you do an error over here, you can do a runtime error sometimes that you're referencing to something else rather than what it should be. Done? Now, what should I do is that I would go ahead and I would add events. I've just created a reference. Now I can refer to the button. Now where is the button stored? The button is stored in button. The output TV is stored in out object and the input text is stored in input. Now what do I need? I need events. You know event handlers in Java? You might have done that. You might have done that in NetBeans by right clicking and add a new event, and over there on action performed action event E. Remember that thing? It's the same thing in Visual Studio as well. Action performed on button click. I think there is something. Yeah, it's on button click, on mouse over, on tab. Okay, but over here you don't have the mouse, so it's taps, dragging, means multiple touching, long click and click. So
these are just developed for the touch screen.
Yes.
If it is for buttons, for what?
That means how button?
For example, some mobiles are
No, they don't support. Android has not. Have you ever seen a mobile phone with Android in which there is a hardware keyboard present? I don't think so.
No.
This is an interactive. No, there is not. If there is, then there will be a way. Okay. No, the Android operating system, okay, let me answer that as well. The Android operating system does support keyboards, hardware keyboards as well. So over there, you do not need to refer it like that. Directly you write something over there.
Yeah.
Okay. And over there you use the tab key and then you press the space key. So using the same thing, the same principle. You can use the mouse as well in the Android, with the Android operating system, even in your mobile phones if you've got the USB connector for that. So you can use the outside hardware in Android.
So we can also make it intelligence, for example.
Yes.
Deep sensing.
Of course.
It is also possible.
Of course it is possible. Okay, done. Now let's go ahead and let's say button. Now what are we referencing to? Button. On what do we want to put the event? We want to put the event. Okay, before that let's check it out. Let's test it out whether it's working or not.
Yes.
Okay, so let me press the play button or the start button. So actually it's waiting for the Adobe Debugger bridge. Now it's assembling, and until it does, let's wait and see that after. So now you saw the result on the in mobile phone directly rather than using the emulator. Means it's fine, but let us continue with the coding. So the button dot set on click listener. I wanna say set on click listener. The on click listener means when someone clicks on this mobile phone, you should do something. What should that thing be? That's later on. But you can see so many events are over there. Set on apply window listener, set on create context menu listener, drag listener, editor action listener. When someone drags this button or so on. So set on long click listener, you see down there. Long click means when you hold the button. You tap and you hold the button, so that's called the long click listener. I'm going to say set on click listener. Now over here inside the method I'm going to say new on click listener, as you can see. But when I press enter and wait for a while, the Android Studio take care of the rest of the things. Means there is an anonymous inner class created, view.onClickListener, and over there it's public void on click. Means when someone clicks, do the following. So what should it do?
So after writing click listener, alt enter.
Yeah, no, not alt enter. Just you write the on click listener and the rest of thing is done by the Android. If it's not, then you should write the code that is highlighted above over there. Okay. Now, the first thing that I want to do is I've got a reference to the output. Whatever I write in the in, it should be showed in the out. Isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the first thing that I want to do is take the string from the input text. So I'm going to say string, the same string that you use in Java. String temp is equal to, what is that? Input dot get text. Remember get text from the Java's old time?
Yes, it is a function.
It's a function which gets the text from text boxes and edit texts.
Yes.
Copies the text to string s. Okay. And why is input giving me an error? Because the input and output should be final. As you can see. Now, okay, I'm coming to that. Now, what is the problem again? You need to convert the type again. Remember the string dot value of? How do you convert integer into a string?
Parse.
How do you? Okay, no, you use parse string, but string in Java it's got another way. It's got another function which is called string dot value of. Value of the input dot get text means take the value, convert it into a string and store it into a string. Actually, whenever you look at the get text, you bring your mouse on top of that, you will see that it's something else. So you need to convert that as well. Okay. The second thing that I want to do is that I want to say out dot set text. Now set text to what? To temp. And that's it. Let's save that now. Let's run it first, then I'll explain the code. You do it yourself, and then inshallah end the class. Okay. So let's run this now, and then we can talk.